The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello and welcome to the November episode of TViva, a monthly program dedicated to finding out about all the wonderful things that are happening in Fall River in the month ahead. My name is Patty Rigo. I'm the Executive Director of Viva Fall River, an organization that does just that. Spotlights our wonderful businesses, our nonprofit organizations, and of course, our wonderful community. With me again, speaking of wonderful, is my co-host, Ashley Okino, Executive Director of the Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition, which advocates for artists and provides opportunities for enrichment, financial opportunities, and so much more.
And connecting together and conversation. Good things. Well, I'm very grateful for you.
Yes, this is the month of gratitude.
It is the month of gratitude, and I'm grateful for another episode of TViva.
Always. We had quite the October.
Yeah.
If I sniffle and sneeze through this, it's because I am exhausted from October. I got myself a little cold, but there were almost 150 events that took place in Fall River, and I'm sure we missed some. But we are actually going to need that candy rush, that sugar rush from October to get through November, because this is almost just as busy this month.
Really?
We've got 100+ events on our list.
Okay.
With more absolutely will be added in the days ahead. So, of course, this month we have Thanksgiving. I do like Thanksgiving a lot. I don't ever need a real holiday to eat a large meal, but it's great. And I thought it would be fun to continue our Chat GPT thing, and where we ask Chat GPT, like if you know, Viva Fall River was X, what would it be? Or FRAC. And this time it's going to be what Thanksgiving side dishes Viva Fall River and FRAC would be if our organizations were Thanksgiving side dishes. Stay with us here. It's just going to be great. So Viva would be a hearty, colorful stuffing with a little bit of everything. Local bread, herbs, cranberries, and maybe even a surprise twist like Charisse. You know. I was like, ChatGPT. I was like, yes. Like the stuffing, Viva Fall River brings together diverse, vibrant elements to create something comforting and uniquely tied to its roots, with a dash of local flavor and a welcoming vibe that just makes everyone feel at home. And you know what? Stuffing is my favorite. So I was pleased with that.
I do love good stuffing, yep.
I was equally as pleased with the one for FRAC.
I can't wait to hear this.
So FRAC would be a beautifully layered sweet potato casserole, topped with crunchy pecans and a hint of cinnamon. Much like the Arts and Culture Coalition, it brings together diverse layers of flavor, texture, and tradition, blending the sweet with the savory to create something greater than its parts. It's warm, inviting, and a little unexpected, just like the creative and cultural richness that the coalition fosters in the community. I mean,
that's an awfully healthy dish to pick for FRAC.
You were like, I was thinking, would you have said green bean casserole maybe, or?
I mean, besides, I think stuffing also would be applicable as well,
and
because both of our organizations are so collaborative in the work that we do. But
I would take a heaping helping of both, actually. I'm just glad they didn't call us a turkey.
I know, right?
You guys are turkeys. Oh my God. So now that earth-shattering question has been answered, we can move on to some of November's events. We're going to skip right to the middle of the month. We will go back, don't worry, and talk about one of our signature events of the year, the 4th annual Thanksmas Night Market and Holiday Celebration. Can't believe it's 4 years. And this is going to take place on Saturday, November 16th from 4 to 8 in the same location as usual, which is on Sullivan Drive and Old 2nd Street, right on the side of Fall River's Government Center. Each year we try to add some new elements, but always based on a foundation of holiday merrymaking. What's in store this year, you say? We have 11 food trucks and vendors. And yes, we are expecting Frisky Fries to be back this year. I know that's a big favorite. We are also going to have canned heat craft beer and the Tipsy Toboggan back with the Thanksmas Holiday Brew Garden. Of course, we'll be bringing back our holiday makers market with local artisans, crafters, and makers. Perfect to start your shopping, because I think a couple of weeks ago I heard somebody say there were like 12 Fridays left, and I till Christmas, and I lost myself for a second. We will have a special guest from the North Pole from 5 to 7, but it is not who you think it is. Just going to leave you with that. Not who you think it is. Live performances by the Cambodian Dance Troupe, Attitude Academy of Performing Arts, the Axel Dance Academy, and maybe even a few more by the time the event rolls around. We're still adding some people to the roster. Obviously, free kids activities, and maybe from some of our community partners, such as the Greater Fall River Arts Association, Greater Fall River Recreation, Children's Museum, the Fall River Pride Committee, the Deaconess Home is joining us this year. People Inc. is joining us, and then we're going to have visits from the Bookmobile from the Fall River Public Library and the Trustees Mobile Adventure van, which I'm really excited about.
Two of my favorite vans.
Yeah, and then last but not least, of course, we will have DJ Juice back, and we'll have a dance party by the fire pits. So mark your calendars, and please come enjoy this November tradition with us. It's for me, and I hope for a lot of you, it marks the official start of the holiday season in Fall River.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It really does. And I look forward to it every year. Again, this is where you can get those special, unique, handmade gifts that people aren't going to find anywhere
Exactly.
else.
And we have a really good lineup, and we'll be releasing the list of vendors a little bit closer to the event, so check us out on Viva Fall River's social media or on our website. Speaking of crafts, as we often do, the holiday craft fairs are in full effect this month. So starting with the first weekend of November, on the 2nd, we have a craft vendor fair at Holy Trinity School on Stafford Road from 10 to 3. And then the following weekend, we have 2 craft fairs. One is the Santa Cristo Christmas Craft Fair, and that's in their church hall on Columbia Street. And that's Saturday the 9th from 9 to 3 and Sunday the 10th from 9 to 2. And then on Sunday the 10th, starting at 10 a.m., there's an autumn craft fair at the Liberal Club on Star Street. That's always a good one. Then on the 15th, middle of the week, from 5 to 7, People Incorporated is going to have a fall craft fair featuring some of the items that are made by the people in their programs. So I think that's going to be really special. That's right next door to City Hall in their big building on Main Street. And then the following weekend, the 23rd and the 24th, we have, this is a favorite, people wait for this one all year, the Holiday Bazaar and Craft Fair at St. Anthony of the Desert Church on Northeastern Avenue. And those are both starting at 9 a.m., I believe 9 to 3. And then this next one isn't a craft fair per se, but it is an event where you can make a really cool gift either for yourself or for somebody else. It's the Chunky Knit Blanket Party at Troy City Brewing. This sounds like my kind of party, like blankets, blankets and beer. Oh my gosh. Sunday, November 24th from 12 to 2, you can learn how to hand knit a chunky blanket. So no tools needed. Beginner knitters are very welcome. The $90 ticket price includes all the materials to knot a standard size blanket. You know, you might think $90 is a lot, but that yarn, the big yarn, the good yarn, is very expensive. So, and then just the instruction of knowing how to do it and not messing up. So I think it's going to be super fun.
That's a really fun experience. I've seen them made. I've seen it on the internet.
I've seen it on the internet.
I've seen it on the internet, and I'm like, those are really cool because you don't need any tools. You just use your arms to loop the material together, and
and then you can go home and buy whatever yarn you want and do it yourself.
Yeah,
but this will be a great community activity. You can snag your ticket at southshoreblanketparties.com. I think it's going to be a super fun and cozy event. Moving on, there are so many live music events and fun activities to be enjoyed at area bars and restaurants. Of course, you can find the full list online at Viva Fall River's online events calendar, but many of these activities are weekly, so if you miss one, you always have a chance the next week. I'm just going to call out a couple of them. There's a blind draw cornhole at Canned Heat Craft Beer on Ferry Street on the 6th, so every Wednesday at 6 p.m. It's $10 to play, and first, second, and third place take-home cash prizes. So I think that's really fun. You might need a little extra cash to buy those crafts for the holidays. Just saying.
There you go.
Then over at Tequila Lime on Bank Street, every Wednesday you can take part in musical bingo from 7 to 9. That sounds like a super fun time, and I bet the answers get more animated as the margaritas go down. And then Thursday nights, it's trivia night every week at Troy City Brewing on Anawan Street, starting at 6:30. We gotta do trivia sometime. I think I'd be good at that. Some other notable events this month. This one is big. Join the City of Fall River for an affordable and fun family event on Saturday, November 9th at 1 p.m. The Little Mermen are coming to Durfee's Nagel Auditorium. Who are they, you say? Well, the Little Mermen are the nation's #1 Disney tribute band. It's the ultimate concert for Disney fanatics of all ages. So they're a rock band, and they perform in full costume, and they sing a wide variety of well-loved classics from movies such as Mary Poppins, Frozen, Encanto, and obviously The Little Mermaid. That would be crazy if they didn't. Tickets are only $15. And you can get them by visiting the Events in Fall River MA Facebook page, or you can always call the mayor's office and they can help you to get more info on how to get tickets. But it's going to be a great event, and $15 for a ticket. And if you have a little one under 2, they can sit on your lap. I just think I have tickets. I'm super excited.
I know some little ones that would love this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. And of course, wear your mouse ears. I've got a couple pairs. Come in costume. Do as you please, because this is going to be a really great event. And then over at the Fall River Public Library on Wednesday, November 13th, we also have another mythical creature. You can spend an evening with Bigfoot. Well, actually, not maybe with Bigfoot, but it is with the Discovery Channel's Ronnie LeBlanc from the television series Expedition Bigfoot. And he is a Massachusetts native and an author of the Monsterland series. So he's going to discuss the connection between Sasquatch and UFOs, his personal experiences out in the field, as well as encounters that he's had in the Bay State. So this special event is free and open to the public. It is recommended for adults and teens/older kids. We do not need small children worried about every small person they see. Bigfoot! And copies of Ronnie's book will be available for purchase, which also could make a great gift. Yep. And then on the 23rd, we've got 2 cool events, both related to food. A Wicked Sing-Along brunch at Barrett's Waterfront. They have those fun brunches over there. And that one's on the 23rd from 11 to 4. And all the activities and the brunch menu and the drinks are all going to be based on the movie Wicked, which is coming out soon. And an 18th century chocolate making demonstration at the Lafayette Durfee House on Cherry Street from 1 to 4. I'm afraid to bring Maxine because she's going to ask to lick the bowl. I know she will ask to lick the bowl. And last but not least, we have some Thanksgiving-related events to share. So on Saturday the 16th, starting at 11 a.m., is the 2nd annual Friendsgiving Drag Brunch at the Tipsy Toboggan on Ferry Street. Brunch and drink menu available with specialty bites and beverages, and seriously, reservations are strongly recommended. And then this year there are 2 great Thanksgiving Eve bashes within walking distance of one another. You know, it's kind of like the precursor where everybody comes home from college. I remember those days.
Yep, get together.
It was a big deal. Get all dressed up, and you know, hometown girl comes home. There's the annual Thanksgiving Eve bash at Troy City Brewing, starting at 5 p.m. And then literally steps away, at Primo on Water Street, they're going to have another bash, is what they're calling it, but this one features the Felix Brown Band, which is such a good band. They did
like
one of our
Felix
events.
Brown Band.
Yes.
Oh.
They did one of, I think it was not the last, but the one before the. I know we had them at some point. Anyway, I could be thinking of something else. As always,
of a Narrows concert.
Probably. As always, these are like literally just a small sampling of the events we have on the calendar. I mean, it is packed again, so get those calendars out, make yourself some plans, celebrate with friends, because it is the month of gratitude. And you can find more events at vivafallriver.com/event. Without further ado, let's talk FRAC.
Let's talk about FRAC. So what is the Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition up to in November? Well, we have our monthly meeting. It is back, and this time it's on a Tuesday. So we're going to meet Tuesday.
Plot twist.
Yeah, plot twist. Tuesday, November 12th at 5 p.m. we will have our meeting. It's going to be at the Lafayette Durfee House.
Oh, so cool.
So it's a beautiful historic home. If you haven't been there before and you've always kind of been curious what's inside, I would call it maybe a pink house. Is it? Salmon?
Yeah, it's like,
rosy?
Oh, that's a good question.
What color? Lafayette Durfee House, what color
I
are
know.
you? Well, on Cherry Street, at 94 Cherry Street, we'll be meeting in the home there. Please come by, join us. I'll give a few brief updates of what's going on with FRAC, a little bit more detail than what we share here. And then it's really all about networking and opportunity for you to connect with other folks in the community, whether you are a business, a creative individual, or someone who's just kind of curious about what's going on with arts and culture. So come visit us on Tuesday the 12th, 5 o'clock at the Lafayette Durfee House, which is at 94 Cherry Street. And I want to also just send a special thank you to Samantha Barboza. She's the events resource coordinator for the city of Fall River. And last month, City Hall hosted our meeting. And really, that was all Samantha putting that together. And it was a fantastic meeting that what she talked about was the city's new webpage that has resources and information if you're interested in having an event here in the city of Fall River. So thank you, Samantha. And what's kind of awesome from my standpoint from FRAC is a little bit of this work came from a FRAC committee meeting that we had. We had talked about events, and we'd gotten then together with Sam and talked about it in a bigger discussion, and it was something that the city had already had on something they wanted to do with the website, but I felt like it really helped us have an understanding and a voice sort of in what would be helpful for people, and then for her to be able to present it in person to folks and for people to be able to ask questions during the meeting. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing. Sometimes, I mean, most likely people are somebody's working on something similar to what you're thinking about working on. And that's what the FRAC meeting is great for. So you can talk about it and see if there are similarities or ways to collaborate. And that really was, the city had already kind of started the process of centralizing the information that you need to know, the permits that you need, the considerations that you need. And then with that further impetus from FRAC, it was like, okay, well, let's work together, and it got done. So, you know, case in point, it can happen.
It can happen, and it's awesome. So congratulations, Fall River. You have a better webpage to find out information about events, because we love events. And so we have 3 free events coming up at FRAC's Ignition Space, which is at 44 Troy Street. We're in the center unit, Unit 2. A new month, a new exhibition. So I hope you'll join us for the opening reception of, it's titled Turbulence, Can the Center Hold? And so we'll have the opening reception on Friday, November 8th from 5:30 to 7:30. And this is a solo exhibition by Stacy Lat-Savage. And Stacy is a professor of art, design, and sculpture at UMass Dartmouth.
Wow.
And actually was a professor of mine back in the day when I was at UMass Dartmouth. Was one of my, it is very full circle. It's a great moment. And so Stacy has really been looking forward to this show, and her sculptures are a reflection of turbulent times and a sense of global unrest.
Oof.
So
what perfect timing.
It really
My
is.
word.
And I mean, she's thought about this exhibition for months, and she had visited the Ignition Space and found that it was the perfect place to host the show that she really wanted to do. And so it talks a little bit about how we live in a delicate balance between forces, sometimes that are outside of our control. And so her work is a response to both the pandemic and different events that are going on globally. And so I do invite you to come check it out. Stacy is an amazing artist, great professor, an all-around fantastic person. And so we're thrilled to have her at the Ignition Space. So again, the opening reception is Friday the 8th from 5:30 to 7:30. And if you can't make that, perhaps you would like to come and meet the artist. So Stacy will be hosting a Meet the Artist evening at the Ignition Space on Wednesdays during the month of November. So that's November 6th, 13th, and 20th from 5 to 7. And so you can come on by and get a behind-the-scenes look at her work and have a little bit of a conversation. You can ask questions.
It's always nice when you can do that, because I enjoy looking at art, but especially with temporary or quick exhibitions, there's not always an opportunity to have that like long, artist statement that you have when you go to a museum where the collection's permanent. And so sometimes you can look at it and you appreciate it, but to know the meaning behind things or what the person was thinking who created it, and like, you know, it's just, and it's a nice dialogue because they also want to know how it makes you feel, because that helps them in their process. So because art isn't just like, look what I made, like a kid, look what I made. It's like, how does it make you feel, and it helps inform their practice. So really you're doing them a really good service.
It is all about conversation. It's all about conversation and experience, and maybe it's the experience that you and the artist even have together talking about it. You know, you might have an aha moment and they might have one too. So I think anytime you can get together and meet with artists like we did with Open Studios last month.
It's always fun. And then you realize they're just like you. You know, art is for everyone. Art can be made by anybody, and you know, you're like, they're people too.
It is for anyone. In the Ignition space, I haven't mentioned it, I know I didn't mention it today, but it's free. It's free. Anytime we're open, which is Friday evenings from 4 to 8, Saturdays and Sundays 12 to 5. Those are standard hours, but for this exhibition, we have extras. So as I mentioned, meet the artist on Wednesday nights from 5 to 7. And so one of the nights was November 13th. And so if you're at the Ignition space on November 13th, we have our third event that's happening, and that's a workshop titled Financial Foundations. So local artist Dana Barnes is leading a workshop because in her day job, she knows all about finances and she knows all about money, and she's going to tell you all about it. So she is a seasoned financial director, and so she's going to help you but she's going to help you set up some basic effective bookkeeping systems for yourself. So if you're a creative person where maybe you sell work at one of these maker markets, or you're a performer where you go out and perhaps there's ticket revenue that's collected and it's given to you, whatever your income is as a creative person, you want to be able to write off as much of that on your taxes as you can. And you also want to just make sure that your practice isn't costing you money. Eventually you'd like to make money off of it. So how do you get to that point? And so Dana's going to tell you a little bit about that. She'll also talk about tracking expenses for your materials, for travel, and other costs associated with selling your art. I mentioned taxes. There's a form called a Schedule C. She'll talk a little bit about that. She will say, and she said that she won't do taxes for people.
Please don't ask her.
But don't ask that. But she has lots of professionals that she can recommend to you that are familiar with working with folks that maybe have a whole bunch of receipts because they went to Michael's, or if Joann's even exists anymore.
It does, actually. I just saw one the other day. It was like seeing a unicorn in the field.
Oh my gosh. So do check it out. So that workshop is on Wednesday, November 13th. It's from 6 to 7:30, and it's also at the Ignition space.
That's great.
So the Ignition space, we have a great exhibition. Come meet the artist. And again, the Financial Foundations workshop. Do come check it out. One of the last things I'll mention during my FRAC updates here is our Ignition space is taking proposals again from the community.
Ooh,
our proposal, it is good to know, because our proposal form had been closed for a little while as we set up our schedule, but looking into the last few months here in 2024 and ahead to 2025, we have openings. And I hate to see empty walls in that space. And so I encourage you, if you are a visual artist or a performing artist, not an artist at all, come check out the space.
Filmmaker.
Look at the form. At the form, there's an option where you can kind of view maybe some of the different things you would want to use the space for, and maybe you don't know, but check that out.
Yeah,
a birthday,
absolutely.
even a birthday party.
No, it's great. My daughter had a wonderful birthday party there. People really enjoyed it. They didn't know what to expect, but they thought the space was great. It's very versatile. You can dress it up, dress it down. And I think, you can, I think the holidays are coming. It could be great for a holiday event.
Party. We'd love to host some of those as well. So our community forum is open. So it's open for both private rentals and it's open for exhibitions and performances. Do check it out. You can go to the FRAC website, which is thefrac, THEFRACC.org/space. So at thefrac.org/space, you can read a little bit about the space. You can see some pictures of it, and you can also fill out that form. So I wanted to let folks know that it's open again, and I'm excited because I've met so many wonderful creative individuals and organizations through having.
And it's been a great opportunity for people to have that, because that wasn't always the case. And in order to continue to have things like this, we need to support them when they are around and take advantage of them when they are around.
Yep. So do check that out. And I guess the last thing that I will say, because I want to say this every time, because I want to make sure that as many people in Fall River are taking advantage of it, and that's a creative directory. So again, on the FRAC website, we have a page that's called Creative Directory. And what it is a yellow pages essentially of different creative individuals, organizations, or even just spaces that could host creative programming or individuals. And so you might find, if you're a nonprofit, that your name comes up on there and you can just claim your account, or you can just take a few minutes and make an account for yourself. Totally free. And the point is to have a place, one location we can find out as much about all the different artists, all the different performers, the makers, the writers, the poets, the actors in one place. It's like a ginormous Rolodex. And how it's helpful is perhaps you're having an event and you'd like to hire someone, or you are redoing your home and you're looking for a painting.
Totally. I mean, it's completely free.
It could be whatever your need is. You might find someone to collaborate.
You have nothing to lose whatsoever.
You have nothing to lose. So it's free, and you can fill out as much or as little of the profile as you like. The more you fill it out, they will feature you and kind of push yours up to the top.
You can go back to it and add later, but just get yourself, just to start. Sometimes the starting is the hardest part. So just get your name, your basic information, and then once you feel comfortable with it, go back in, put some pictures in, put like, oh, this is something I did. But I mean, literally, somebody could just find you, and there you have a new job or a new commission. Like you have zero to lose.
You have zero to lose.
Do it while you're watching Netflix. You know, like on the side. It's totally fine.
So you could totally just do that. And so this creative directory is called Creative Ground, and it's all supported by the New England Foundation for the Arts. So that's how it's all free, and they have plenty of folks there to help you too. Like if you start doing it, you could always reach out to FRAC, but they have a whole staff there dedicated to making sure that this is the best Rolodex of creative folks across New England.
We're using words like yellow pages and Rolodex, and I guarantee there are like going to be some young people who are like, what are they talking about? It's like Google search. But I like yours.
It is like Google search. But no, it's just a great opportunity, and so I will mention it again and again so you can get found and get hired.
Absolutely. It bears repeating. It's a good service, and I love free.
Yep.
Who doesn't? But yep, so I think we've come to the end of yet another wonderful edition of TViva. Keep an eye on Fall River's #1 event calendar, vivafallriver.com/event. Please submit your events as well. We try every month to get as many as we can, especially with December coming up. If you're having a fundraiser, a clothing drive, a drop-off, we list them all, and it's just a great way to let the community know so that they can support you in your endeavors. You just go to the event page, scroll down, it says submit your event. We even have a little video if you need a little help. And then we also have of course, our newsletters, my weekly newsletter, Ashley's monthly one. You can sign up right on the homepage, just scroll down to the bottom so you don't miss a beat, and you'll always have something to do whenever you want to do it. But like I said, our time with you is up for now. So have a wonderful month filled with gratitude and gravy. And until next time, Viva Fall River.